People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe. A quick one now, people, but you know, Corona or COVID-19, I don't want to go as far as to say we've turned a corner or we're turning a corner in society, but whenever it feels like there's a bit of silence on the situation, that we're returning to a bit of normalcy, you know, things are popped up on its head and things rear its head and make it difficult. I'm sure you've all seen last night emerging reports across various media outlets. I personally came across the Athletics article. Arsenal have closed Hale End. For those who don't know what Hale End is, it's actually 10 minutes away from my house. It's our academy. You know, it's our academy base before they go off and become full-time scholars. So Jack Wilshere, Iwobi, Bukayo Saka, Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, all of these people, before they ever stepped on a pitch at the Emirates Stadium in the Premier League, they had to hone their skills at the Walthamstow base. So to hear that that's in trouble in some capacity scares me. And obviously with COVID, first and foremost, you're not even thinking about football. You're hoping for the player safety, parent safety, obviously safety of all staff members connected with the club. Not too sure how this one's worked, because you obviously with COVID measures in place, like many training grounds, you know, it's not everybody can just roll in at Hale End and rock up. It's less sort of people now, sort of thing. But the article said itself, Arsenal have been forced to close their Hale End academy due to a positive COVID test. The Athletic has learnt that a senior member of academy staff travelled abroad and returned to Hale End before receiving the results of their COVID-19 test. The test has subsequently returned as positive, forcing the club to close down activities with staff not permitted on site until further notice. Now, I'm not too sure if we'll allow young players to play at London Coley, for example, people, but this probably means that academy football under 16 and below for Arsenal is further disrupted. I don't know if we're going to play in an alternative place. I don't know if there's any plans for training elsewhere, but you could imagine everybody's just going to have to sit on their hands for a second, really and truly, which is unsettling, because that's who I feel it for. I feel it for academy players. I feel COVID has really hit the academy scene. It's really disrupted fixtures. It really prevented people from training for a while. You know, it messed up a lot of things. You know, young players probably could have got some permanent moves somewhere, and you know, due to the money thing, teams are not involved. Obviously, a lot of people, it's tough being released in the best of times, but definitely in the COVID market, you know, COVID has been one of the worst things to hit youth football, or youth footballers, if that makes sense, in my opinion. Staff were informed of developments via email Wednesday evening, which was yesterday. Arsenal themselves said, we can confirm that the member of staff from our Hale End Academy has tested positive for COVID-19. The positive test results arrived at 5 p.m. today, and the member of staff immediately left the site to self-isolate. As a consequence, 6 other members of staff are now self-isolating, and we have initiated track and trace for the entire site. We are working through our CCTV and attendance records on site in order to continue track and trace process. Our Hale End Academy will now be closed on Thursday the 8th of October for deep cleaning. After Thursday, we'll review our coaching plans at Hale End accordingly, and we'll keep all staff, parents and young players fully informed. The health and safety of everyone on our site is our paramount concern. No member of our men's or women's first team squad have been affected. So again, it's disappointing, but you know, if we can just save lives, everybody's health's protected, that's the number one. In the grand scheme of things, this is merely an inconvenience. So it is quite upsetting, people, really and truly. There's also been an update in relation to Kieran Tierney. Like you saw my video, and a lot of emerging reports said he will not be involved in the Man City game due to having to self-isolate because a member of the Scottish team that he's judged to have come in close contact with has contracted COVID. For what it's worth, development since then, apparently Tierney has had 3 negative tests in the past week, and Arsenal say he has shown to have antibodies to the virus despite never displaying symptoms. Tierney joined Armstrong and Ryan Christie to play computer games in a hotel room, but believes he maintained social distancing at all times. As things stand, the Scottish FA's guidance would mean Tierney being forced to miss Arsenal's match with Manchester City on Saturday, October the 17th. Premier League guidelines, however, dictate that only the player who tests positive must isolate. Arsenal are seeking to help Tierney return to London and are optimistic of finding a resolution that will enable him to resume competitive activity as soon as possible. And for me, that's what it is. Again, I sympathise with Armstrong, with anyone that's contracted it. But if he's not negative and he's passed tests and periods of time have passed and he's had another test and he's had 3 negative tests, you know, he's passed. You know, like I said, I sympathise, but there's no reason for him, like I said then, to isolate and whatnot. Well, apart from isolate, to miss the game, really and truly. I get the precautionary measures, I get the prevention is better than cure sort of approach, but if he hasn't got the virus, he should be fit and played. You know, Tierney's said to be bitter and frustrated because he feels he's done all he can, you know, while it's an inconvenience. He's done the social media distancing, I keep saying social media, social distancing measures, you know, he's done what he's needed to do. He's made sure he doesn't do things that can put him at risk, so it is frustrating. And then obviously, like, I completely agree with Arsenal. We should be seeking outside medical help or seeking other guidance to see if this man can play. And like we said, the priority is probably getting him back to London and out of that situation. But you know, Tierney's a good sport and whatnot, man. So it is probably annoying. Like we said, we're optimistic of finding a resolution that will enable him to resume competitive activity as soon as possible. So yeah, man. Our medical team, Arsenal's medical team, have confirmed that Tierney was socially distant at all times from the player who tested positive and has broken no rules regarding COVID-19 protocols. We are seeking further advice and clarification on the details. Tierney has also been in touch and said, "I'm so disappointed and frustrated to be in this situation. I've adhered to all regulations and made sure I was socially distancing from my teammates in the hotel. I've also tested negative. I know Arsenal and the SFA are now in discussions with Scottish authorities to gain a further understanding." So let's hope there's something on a positive front in relation to Kieran Tierney. But like I've said with the theme of this, first and foremost, health is wealth. Our priority is obviously looking after everybody's health, whether you're a parent or a Premier League footballer. So I wish everybody the best. But that's all I wanted to talk about. It's an unnecessary inconvenience. It's unnecessary headlines in relation to Arsenal and what's been a decent week, or started off well, because it's, as you lot know, we've welcomed Thomas Partey. But on that note, people, I'm off to make some more vids. So if you've not had enough of me, go and check out my other vids. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I need them likes, people. Help me rank further up in the YouTube algorithm, and that you only do that with likes, people. It doesn't cost a thing. On that note, people, stay safe. DG.